Getting older doesn't make you less attractive. It actually makes you more. Most women don't believe that. And honestly, that's not their fault. Everything around you, the ads, the magazines, the comments online, the way Hollywood replaces actresses the moment they hit a certain age, they all push the same story. That beauty is something you had when you were younger and something you're slowly losing now. That the best version of you already happened and you're just moving further away from it with every year that passes. But that story is wrong. It was always wrong. And the proof isn't something you need to go looking for, because it's already showing up in your life right now, in small moments you've probably been brushing off or not even noticing at all. Today, we're going through 12 signs that you are genuinely attractive as an older woman, even if nobody has sat you down and told you that directly. These aren't feel-good lines designed to make you smile and move on. These are real, specific, recognizable things that happen around attractive older women every single day. Things other people are already noticing about you before you notice them yourself. Stay until the end, because some of these are going to catch you off guard. If this speaks to you, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. As we go through each sign, drop a 1 in the comments if it feels true for you, and a 0 if it doesn't. Let's get into it. Sign number 1. Younger people want to spend time with you, and they don't really know why. Not because they have to. Not out of politeness or obligation. But because being around you genuinely feels good to them in a way they'd probably struggle to explain. You might notice it at a work event, where a younger colleague keeps gravitating back to your side of the room, even when there are people her own age nearby. Or at a family gathering where the younger women keep pulling you into their conversations instead of the other way around. Maybe a friend's daughter texts you just to talk, not to ask for anything specific, not to get something from you, just to connect because something about your company feels steady and real to her. These things don't happen by accident. Younger people are drawn to women who feel settled in themselves, women who aren't performing for the room, women who listen without immediately making it about their own experience, women who speak from a place of actually knowing something. That kind of energy is rare. And when younger people feel it, they move toward it the same way you naturally move toward a warm room on a cold day, without planning to, without overthinking it, just because something in them recognizes it as good. Sign number 2. People remember what you wore or how you smelled long after they saw you, not in a strange way. In the way where someone says you always look so put together, or they ask what perfume that is because they always notice it when you walk in. When people around you start remembering the details of how you present yourself, that is not a small thing. That means you left an impression that actually stuck with them. As women get older, the ones who stay genuinely attractive stop chasing trends and start dressing for themselves. There's a quiet confidence in that shift. A woman who knows her colors, who understands what fits her body well, who has found the scent she loves and wears it without overthinking it. She's saying something without opening her mouth. She's saying, I know who I am, and I'm not asking for your permission to be her. People feel that. They remember it. They bring it up later, because it stayed with them. Because self-awareness worn on the outside is one of the most attractive things a woman can communicate, and most people can't even fully explain why it draws them in. They just know it does. Sign number 3. People hold eye contact with you a little longer than you expect. This one is easy to miss, but once you start noticing it, you'll see it everywhere. Someone in a conversation keeps their eyes on yours just a beat past the point where most people would look away. A stranger across a coffee shop glances at you and then looks again a few seconds later. A man in a meeting keeps his attention on your face, even when someone else is the one speaking. Longer eye contact is not random. It happens when someone finds the other person genuinely interesting or magnetic, when something about the way that person exists in the room pulls at their attention without them consciously deciding to give it. Older women who are comfortable with themselves carry a depth in the way they hold themselves, a calm steadiness in their presence that makes people want to keep looking, not in a way that feels uncomfortable or strange. In a way that feels like recognition, like something in the other person is responding to something real. Sign number 4. People come to you when something actually matters to them, not for small talk, for the real things. A coworker closes the door behind her and asks for your actual honest opinion, not the polished professional version, the real one. A friend calls you first when her marriage hits a rough patch, before she calls anyone else, because she knows you won't make it dramatic and you won't judge her. Your sister asks what you would do before she makes a decision she's been sitting with for weeks. When people choose you for the conversations that actually count, that tells you something significant about how they see you. It means they trust you. It means they believe you'll tell them the truth without making them feel small for not having figured it out on their own. And that kind of trust does not come from age alone. It comes from years of genuinely listening, of thinking before speaking, of caring about the person in front of you more than about being right or being impressive. Women who have built that quality over time become the person everyone reaches for when life gets hard and real. And being that person, being the one someone trusts with their most honest moments, is one of the most deeply attractive qualities a woman can have. Sign number 5. You don't feel the need to fill every silence, and the people around you notice that about you. There's a woman in almost every room who talks to fill space, who laughs a little too loud to make sure she's included, who jumps into conversations before the other person is even finished speaking because silence feels like a threat to her. And then there's the woman who does none of that, who sits comfortably quiet, who waits before she speaks, who doesn't need every moment to involve her in some way. That woman gets watched. People notice her. They find themselves wondering about her, wanting to know what she's thinking, curious about what's happening behind those calm eyes. Comfort with silence is something that develops over time, through real self-acceptance, through finally getting to a place where you don't need external noise to feel okay about yourself. It signals that you have nothing to prove and no one to perform for. And in a world where most people are constantly reaching for their phone, the moment a quiet moment arrives, a woman who can simply be still is genuinely hard to look away from. Sign number 6. People mention your energy before they mention anything else about you. Not your outfit, not your hair, your energy. Someone tells you that you just always seem so calm. A friend says, I don't know what it is, but I always feel better after we talk. A new person you've just met tells you there's something about you that's easy to be around. When people lead with your energy before they notice anything physical, that means your presence alone is doing something powerful before you've even said a word. Energy is not a vague or mystical thing. It's visible in the specific small details. It's the way you walk into a room without immediately scanning it for approval. It's the way you speak to someone serving you at a restaurant the exact same way you'd speak to anyone else. It's the way you respond when something stressful happens, without turning it into a crisis, without making everyone around you feel the weight of it. People pick up on all of that instantly, even when they have no language for what they're picking up on. Attractive older women don't just look a certain way. They feel a certain way to be around. And when someone tells you that being near you is easy and good, that is not a throwaway compliment. That is someone telling you something true about who you are. Sign number 7. You make people laugh and they genuinely mean it every time. Not the polite laugh, not the smile and slow nod. The real one. The kind where someone covers their mouth and shakes their head like they can't believe you just said that. Humor in an older woman lands differently than it does coming from someone younger because it doesn't come from trying. It comes from not caring too much. You've lived enough to know what's actually funny about life. You're not performing wit to seem interesting to people. You're just being honest about the situation in front of you, and honesty delivered with timing is funny almost every time. Women who are genuinely comfortable with themselves have a natural humor that doesn't reach or try too hard and never makes anyone feel like the target of it. It just lands. It just connects. And when you consistently make someone laugh for real, you create a bond with them that most long conversations never manage to build. People want to stay near whoever makes them feel that light and that good. Sign number 8. You catch people looking at you when they think you're not paying attention. You glance up and someone quickly shifts their eyes. You turn slightly and notice someone at the other end of the room looking in your direction. You're listening to someone speak in a group and you realize the person beside you has been watching your face more than they've been watching the person talking. These moments are easy to dismiss. Most women do dismiss them. They tell themselves it was nothing, that they imagined it, that the person was just looking that way by coincidence. But when it keeps happening in different rooms, with different people, across different situations, it is not coincidence. People look at what catches their attention. They look at what draws them without them choosing to be drawn. And if you are consistently drawing that kind of attention quietly, without doing anything to create it, that is not your imagination. That is simply what you've become. Sign number 9. People bring up things you said long after the conversation ended. Someone references a comment you made 3 months ago, like it's been living in their head ever since. A friend quotes something back to you that you told her during a hard moment in her life. A younger woman at work mentions advice you gave her in passing, something you don't even remember saying, and tells you it shifted the way she was thinking about something important. When your words stay with people that way, it means something. It means they were actually listening when you spoke. And people only really listen, only really hold on to something someone said when they felt that what was coming was worth keeping. Women who have lived honestly, who have thought carefully about their own lives, who have made real mistakes and learned from them without bitterness, those women say things that carry weight. When they speak, it doesn't just fill the air. It lands somewhere in the person listening. And those people carry it with them because something in what you said felt true in a way they needed. Sign number 10. People treat you with a kind of respect that goes beyond basic politeness. There is a real difference between someone being polite to you and someone genuinely respecting you. And once you've experienced both, you can feel the gap between them immediately. Politeness is surface. It's the smile, the nod, the door held open. Genuine respect is something else entirely. It's when someone lowers their voice slightly when you enter a room, when they wait to hear what you think before settling on their own opinion. When they speak to you like your time and your attention are actually worth something to them. Attractive older women don't earn that kind of respect by demanding it or by announcing that they deserve it. They build it slowly through the way they consistently show up, the way they speak to others, the way they handle disagreement without turning cold, the way they hold their position on something calmly without needing to make the other person feel wrong for seeing it differently. All of that teaches the people around you how to treat you without you ever saying a word about it directly. And when people treat you well, consistently, across different situations and different moods, that is not luck. That is the result of who you have quietly and steadily become. Sign number 11. You are comfortable in your own skin and everyone around you can feel it. This is the hardest one to fake and the most powerful one when it's genuinely real. There's a woman who walks into a room and something about her just feels okay. She's not scanning the space for approval. She's not hoping people like what she's wearing. She's not quietly comparing herself to every other woman in the room. She is simply there, fully, without apology, without performance, without the low hum of anxiety that most people carry into most rooms without even realizing it. That kind of comfort doesn't come from looking a certain way or reaching a certain number on a scale. It comes from years of slowly, sometimes painfully, making real peace with yourself, with your body as it actually is right now, with your past and the choices you made in it, the ones that worked and the ones that didn't, with the parts of your personality that you used to try to soften for other people and have finally stopped apologizing for. Women who have done that work carry it in a way that is completely visible, even though it makes no sound. You see it in the way they sit. You feel it in the way they respond when something catches them off guard. People feel that ease the moment they're near it, and it pulls at them deeply, in a way they often cannot find words for, only feel in their chest when they're standing next to you. Sign number 12. People remember you after you've already left the room. The conversation keeps moving after you walk away, and your name comes up in it. Someone who just met you mentions you to a friend later that same evening. A person you spoke to briefly at an event finds themselves thinking about something you said on the drive home, turning it over, sitting with it. This is the last sign, and in many ways, the most telling one of all. Because honestly, anyone can hold someone's attention while they're standing right in front of them. The real question, the one that actually reveals something, is whether you leave a mark behind after you're gone. Attractive older women do, not because they planned to, not because they worked the room or made sure to say all the right things at the right moments, but because something about the way they showed up, honest, grounded, warm, fully and unapologetically themselves, left something behind that didn't fade when they walked out the door. That is not a performance. That is not strategy. That is simply who you have spent years becoming, whether you gave yourself credit for it or not. Now take a real moment and think about how many of these signs are already happening in your actual life. Not in theory. Not in a version of your life where everything is going perfectly. In your real daily life right now. Because if even a handful of these landed for you, you are not reading too much into things, and you are not being generous with yourself. You are finally starting to see something clearly that the people around you have already known for a while. Attractiveness at this point in your life is not about fighting time or chasing something you used to have. It is about the woman you have actually become, the depth you carry from everything you've been through, the way you make the people around you feel when you're present with them. The fact that you have lived enough to know who you are and have slowly, quietly stopped pretending to be anything else. That is not a small thing. That is not a consolation prize for getting older. That is everything. That is the thing younger women are still working toward and don't have yet. You already have it. The only question is whether you're going to start seeing it. If this video spoke to you, leave a comment and tell us which sign surprised you the most. Share it with a woman in your life who needs to hear this today, because someone you know is walking around underestimating herself right now, and this might be exactly what she needs. Like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell so you're here for everything coming next. You've spent enough time seeing yourself as less than you are. That part is done now.